Oh, I haven't got my glasses on.
Oh,
I thought something was different.
do you know, I had a weird feeling as well.
Also, I wondered why I couldn't see.
Oh! Hi everyone, and welcome to
Generation Gap!
Happy
Halloween!
So,
Here we are.
what are we doing today then, Mum?
Well, Halloween, I reckon. I think building on last week's theme, which was hobbies and sort of making things, we got all crafty and we had to go at making a pumpkin. So
Yes.
we thought that would be very in keeping with the theme of Halloween.
Yes, we made them reflect ourselves.
Yeah. So needless to say, I had the biggest, most curvaceous.
No, because you are the parent. You've got the parent
Yeah,
pumpkin and the baby pumpkin.
that's very kind. And the first headline thing to say before we even get into our creativity was I managed, and you managed, in fact you did it first, to get 200 seeds from
Yeah,
each pumpkin.
200, really? Wow.
Not that I literally counted them.
But
I
about,
wasn't
wow.
that sad. But I would reckon, I was trying to work out, so I reckon between the two pumpkins, we've got 400 seeds, so
Wow.
we'll be fine
400
for
pumpkins.
yeah. Well, in fact, this is the miracle of nature, any excuse to talk about it, because of course each seed will make a plant that makes a heck of a lot more than one.
There you go.
And that's just incredible, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just out of one pumpkin.
Yeah.
And if you compare the cost of buying a pumpkin to the cost of buying a packet of seeds,
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
So what would a packet of pumpkin seed, like,
Well,
20 be?
that is
Do you
a
know?
really good question. It
trains or whatever.
depends who you buy them from and whether they're organic or heritage seeds and all that stuff. But you could spend £4. You could do. You could probably spend £1. So
Yeah.
somewhere between there, or get them for free. You have to
Yeah,
dry
exactly,
them.
yeah,
You have
yeah.
to dry them.
And what, those pumpkins are like £2 or something.
Yeah, they
so
were,
it's
yeah.
half of that for an edible pumpkin,
Yeah.
fun, and seeds.
It's a complete bargain. So
is.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So here we are in the polytunnel,
Yeah.
and Mum had the great idea to pop the pumpkins in with its cousins. its
Yes,
distant
so we're building
cousins.
up a bit of suspense. Plus, might I say, I'm wearing my orange shirt in honour of, I thought I can look a little bit Halloween-y.
Love
And
it.
kind of purple and orange I always think of as Halloween colours. So we
Definitely.
thought,
And we love a monochrome because I've got my purple
Yeah.
purple. And then
oh, I
you've
don't know if
got-
I'm that...
There you go.
Oh, that was really attractive. Have a look at my muddy shoe.
No, not at all.
I could have done it more elegantly, couldn't I? I could have done it like that. That's probably...
more authentic, isn't it? But got our orange chairs.
Yes.
You've got your lovely orange glasses.
Yes.
Orange top and orange slides.
All matching.
And I got my new nails as well. Which I
Very
painted
beautiful.
yesterday.
Yes.
So anyway,
Yes.
enough with the chit chat. Should we
Yes,
show the
absolutely.
pumpkins?
Shall I go first? Or
Or should we do it at the same time?
Oh, good idea. Excuse me, I'll go first.
No, not at all. Mum's is better than mine.
Oh, not at all.
I think it's a lot
They're
more
just really different. I think, well, what we aimed to do was kind of reflect our different generational styles,
Yeah,
didn't we?
definitely, yeah.
So, should we do it on the count of three?
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
So, what inspired yours?
I don't know. I wore this jumper. It's the Generation Gap jumper, the one in the
Yeah.
the
That
theme
fabulous piece of
tune
artwork.
made by Mother. It's really cool.
Drop that one in.
No, I love it. Kind of, yeah. I this came first, chicken or the egg? No. And then I thought I'd wear this to match it. I don't know. I just like really simple things.
Yeah.
I don't really like for me doing the traditional face.
Yeah.
So I just really like flowers. Like with my ceramics, talking about last week. I do flowers a lot on mine. Flowers and hearts, just always nice. So I just thought I'd keep it really simple.
And I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but my perception of your generational look, I don't know if it's you or your generation or
Well, I think
both,
it's
is
yeah,
sort of
you-
quite clean and simple.
Yeah.
Would that be true to
yeah.
say?
Well, I mean, there's different aesthetics, but I would say mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a
So
generational and me
yeah,
thing.
so that feels
Yeah.
very representative.
Yeah.
And of course I've thrown in everything but the kitchen sink.
I really like it though.
Which is very, I don't know if that's my generation or just me. I suspect that's just me. And I don't know if you can tell, but I've got the moon, which I realised afterwards is kind of almost like a C for Caroline.
Hey!
A little bit.
Love
And then
it.
sort of, I'm hoping, because we were going to put these on Instagram, weren't
Yes,
we?
I was gonna put them on Instagram on Halloween. So
In night time, so we'll see them lit up.
So if you want to see them, please check out jen.gap.ig.
drop that one in. But I'm hoping that where I've cut all the way through, it'll light up more brightly, and then in some places I've only cut part of the way through.
Yeah.
So that will light up, but not as brightly. So
Generation.
yeah,
Gradient.
gradient. So I've got sort of foliage and berries, and then stars and a moon. And this feels very appropriate because the day of filming today.
Oh yes.
What did we see this
It's
morning?
the partial eclipse
Of the sun, actually, rather than the moon, wasn't it?
partial solar eclipse.
Partial, yes,
Yeah.
eclipse of the sun, same thing. We seem to have picked a moment when
Yeah.
there's a lot of trains.
We're right next
don't
to a
we?
train station, so especially right here you can see them. So sorry about that. But I really, Mum's. What do you think of it now? Because when we were carving it, she wasn't the biggest fan. I
No.
absolutely love it. I think it's really
Aw.
beautiful.
Well, I wasn't that sure, and that's really kind of you to say. Thank you.
True.
But I think there's an artist I really admire. She's a lady called Esty McLeod, and
yeah.
I've done some of her online courses, which I've really enjoyed, painting courses. And I think I'm right in saying it was her. It's someone I really respect anyway. Of course, being me, I can't remember exactly who. I suspect it was her. Said that every piece of art that you create, it has to go through the really ugly stage where you hate it.
Yeah.
Everybody, and no matter how experienced you are, how talented you are, everyone goes through that stage, and you almost need that courage to keep going, you know. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
I relate to that resonates. with me,
Oh,
definitely.
thank you. And I wouldn't say that pumpkin's like the best thing I've ever seen, but I do like it now, whereas I
good,
hated it.
good.
I absolutely hated it. So, we've got our two little dogs are
We do.
pattering around our ankles, aren't they? Want to say happy Halloween as well. And Milo's on colour trend,
He is
isn't he?
with his orange, and Lottie's like a black cat. She's all black
Oh,
and
she
witchy.
is. So if you hear
Pitter pattering.
yes, dog paw on gravel.
It is.
Yeah.
But no, I really genuinely like your pumpkin.
Oh, well,
So
that's-
I'm glad it's grown on you.
Thank you. It's very, very kind of you to say. So,
No
so yeah. But it was seeing that solar partial eclipse this morning was
Yeah, it was
amazing,
really
wasn't it?
nice, yeah.
It sort of felt really positive. and
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in my head, but it was great, and you took some fantastic pictures
As
of it.
did you.
Thank you. So yeah. So that was a lovely kind of start to the day. Really, it wasn't
So
quite the start.
it was. No, it was start. So also happy partial solar
Yeah.
eclipse day as well. If
Yeah.
you're watching it, no, 'cause it's going
Absolutely.
out tomorrow. But you know what I mean.
Well, I think the energy, I'm definitely not an astrologer or anything anywhere near an astrologer, but I believe that the energy from a solar eclipse or partial solar eclipse can last like 6 months
Wow.
after. And I think we're coming into the eclipse season.
Yeah.
So there's going to
So
be
I'm guessing
more.
it's the strongest today, I would imagine.
I don't even know. I logic would say you're
Yeah, I
absolutely
don't know,
right,
though.
but
Yeah.
I actually don't know that. But it would make sense, wouldn't it? But I think the sort of effect of it is like a month before and 6 months after, so it's quite a big deal. So yeah, so we were very lucky to be able
Yeah,
to
we were. We
to
saw
see it, weren't we?
yeah.
So that was wonderful. So I really enjoyed that. So yes. So Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes.
So we're gonna be honest, not the absolute biggest fans of Halloween.
No.
We're more Christmas people. So Christmas is coming up.
We've already started looking forward to that, haven't we? So yeah, I was thinking before we sat down for our chat, I was thinking, okay, what do I really think about Halloween? And I think we've had an interesting relationship with it while you were growing up, I would say. And in a previous incarnation, I worked in a stationery gifts department for Marks and Spencer's, developing products. And I know that when we were developing greetings cards and gifts, it's incredibly orientated around events, as they're called in the industry.
Yeah.
And it is slightly manufactured to keep people buying stuff, if we're on it. And I,
More
I
like
should-
the excitement of
well,
holiday.
I shouldn't criticise it because I worked in that industry, but it's all about promoting an event. And when I think back to, even though that was 20 years ago for me, so a long time ago, feels like 2 minutes when you're my age, but anyway, it was a
Oh,
long
grand
time
scheme
ago.
of things, not very long, is it?
But since even then, I think Halloween has become much bigger and much more commercially a thing.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
But if I think back to when I was your age, and maybe this was just my experience, but I don't remember. I mean, yes, it existed, absolutely, but it was always much more of a deal in America. and
Yeah,
over in the
that's
UK.
true.
And I think maybe
I
it
think
still
that's
is.
it.
Maybe.
I think it's probably the influence of like television.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is, because it is definitely a really big deal. Well,
In the
obviously,
UK,
we're not
would you
American.
say?
No, America.
In America,
I'm
yeah.
not American, obviously. I don't really know any Americans. But from like, you know, the online personalities that I do know, I definitely would agree with you. So I would imagine it's which makes sense within the last 20 years, because social media
Yeah.
and like, you know, that kind
Which
of
in
thing,
many
and
ways is a
YouTube
good thing.
and oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
I definitely pick up on sometimes the way you pronounce things, or
Oh, really?
it's almost the American way of saying, and I can't think of
Yeah.
a single example now, but there are words that I hear you say and I think, oh, that's like what I would consider. And that I don't think is a terribly bad
No,
thing,
no,
or
it's
at
just
all a bad
interesting.
thing. It's I actually think it's quite nice that it's kind of more
Sharing
cosmopolitan,
cultures,
and it's less sort of insulated, isn't it? I think it's a lovely thing. It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is
So
interesting.
my memory of Halloween growing up is that it wasn't a big deal in the UK. Whether that was just my family,
Yeah.
I don't think it was. And I think it's perhaps, as you say, still not as big as it is in the US,
Yeah.
but it's a lot bigger than it was. But what was interesting for me, bringing you up and your lovely brother, is that you were neither of you particularly interested in
No.
Halloween anyway, naturally.
Yeah, just not really my thing. to be
Which was
honest.
interesting. And I
I just remembered, and I could show this picture on screen. I remember I was just looking through some just childhood photos, just because that's fun to do every now and then.
absolutely.
And you might remember this. You took a very funny picture of me. So this must have been Halloween. Dressed in a Tinkerbell costume.
I remember
with
that.
a Darth Vader head thing on.
It's a coming together of two.
Yeah. So in my generation,
Classics.
we would call that "Get You a Girl Who Can Do Both."
Oh really?
So it's saying like
love
I
it.
can be like I was like 8 or something, but it's like I could be like a little fairy Tinkerbell princess, and then
Oh.
also Darth Vader on the
Oh,
head.
but I can remember that brings back such fond memories for me, because you absolutely loved both of those, and I
Oh, did I?
which is
Did I love
great.
Darth Vader?
Oh my God, you not
Did I?
you
I
loved
dressed up.
You loved the costume.
I dressed.
I don't think you even really related to who Darth Vader was. Maybe you
No.
did. I don't. No, you won't have seen the film. At
No, I
that
did.
age.
I did.
Oh, did
because I
you?
remember Adam. Bless him.
Oh, yeah,
he's
'cause
lovely,
Adam would've-
but Adam watched Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's like 2 years older than me. And I remember
brother?
my brother. I remember hiding behind the. Sorry about the train. I remember hiding behind the sofa on like one of the Star Wars, because Darth Vader was taking his helmet off, and it was this really like wormy face, like it was weird. And I remember saying, "Is it over?" And then he said, "Yeah," and it was. So I just lied, and then I think I just screamed or something. So I definitely saw it.
So was. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry that happened to you. Was that before or after you got the costume? Do you
About
remember?
the same time, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
no! I know I've told you this.
I was
memory
gonna say, it
before.
reminds me of
yes.
This one.
When I dropped you off at school, and
Yeah.
it was World Book Day, I think, and you could dress up as your
Yeah.
favourite character. So there you
So there
are.
you
You
go,
must have loved
yeah.
it, because you could have chosen anybody.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, you had the helmet, you had the cape.
gloves, no.
Oh, the gloves! The gloves that were up to here. They were. They were very special, and I think you had like a black sort of all-in-one gown, and you might
Okay.
even have had special shoes, or maybe not. But you were very sort of
Yeah.
oh, and a lightsaber. You had that as well. And I dropped you off at school, inevitably late. We were
Oh.
always late. We were that family, and I dropped you off, and the playground was already absolutely full of children. And I dropped you off, and you went running in because you were late. But I was
Yeah.
quite used to it. I have to go.
Good exercise.
Yeah, and you went running in, and as you ran up to this crowd of children, they just parted like the Red Sea. And you ran right through the middle, and then they all kind of followed you in. It was this little tiny Darth Vader bringing the
Leading the
whole
group.
group of kids into school. It was absolutely hilarious. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So yes, you definitely embraced the idea of dressing up. But I think a lot of kids love dressing
Yeah,
up, don't
I think they do.
And I think a lot of humans, I still like dressing up.
I like dressing
You know,
up,
maybe not as
yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it this morning when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about, and I thought, you know, even just getting ready
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
film
say
this,
it's dressing up. Isn't
I'm kind
it?
of dressing up as the slightly more attractive version
Oh,
of myself.
No, that's
But you
no,
do
me
because
too. You just
you
sort of
know,
exaggerate.
yeah, you
like,
do, which
yeah.
in a way is dressing up,
Yeah,
isn't it?
no, I think so.
It
Yeah,
is.
no, I thought the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Actually.
So anyway, so yes, you definitely love dressing up. And but the bit you didn't really go for, whether I sort of put you off it or I probably did a bit, but as you know though, you're a very strong-minded person, so you were
like with the fashion thing, you'd say, I didn't even know this, but if I did not like an outfit, I would not wear it.
From the age of about, well, probably a year, like
Really?
ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh, very young. Yeah, you would just go rigid like a board. And I'd try and put you on. Oh, no, it wasn't going to happen.
And so if you did, I would have been like, no!
No, exactly.
Really?
So I learned early on, I'd sort of lay things out and I'd get the approval. Yeah. And then or let you choose. But it was very sweet, and it was not a big deal at all. It was lovely and charming and very lovely. So yeah, but yes, you're definitely always been a person that knows their own mind. That's absolutely for sure. So the bits that I guess I find difficult about Halloween, and each to his own, because, and absolutely no judgment here, and I'm not just saying that to be like politically correct.
Yeah.
Because I think do what the heck you like as long as you're not hurting anyone else. I don't mind. But it's this idea of sort of going around to strangers' houses and sort of demanding.
Yeah, sweet.
Demanding. And if not, then I'll do something horrible to you. That's the.
And it's weird on the receiving end as well, because, like, do you know what? I did go trick-or-treating once with the neighbours. It wasn't. Maybe
Just in the locale.
Yeah. Locale.
Excuse me. My generation.
I love
word.
it.
Well, I think it's in French. I don't know. It might not
I
be.
don't know, maybe.
It might not be. It's possibly a fashion word. I just sort
I
of.
like it. But yeah, I went with my neighbours, and maybe it's because it was England, it's less of a big deal. It just wasn't.
It was
that
a bit flat.
exciting. Yeah, I was just like, it's been hyped up like my whole life. And I was like, oh, that's it. But the thing is, both on the receiving, and I know some people love it, and that's great.
That's
but
fine.
like, being the trick or treater, which I only ever did once, also was quite weird because you didn't feel like you could eat the sweets because, like, well, I don't know if someone's poisoned these or not. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
maybe I made you really paranoid.
No.
not.
I've always been like about things. But I don't know. Yeah.
But there's a saying in my generation, which is it's something called demanding money with menaces. Which is like a legal phrase, which basically means threatening someone. If you don't give me something, I'll do something violent.
Well, then
which
there
is
you go,
like
so
an
that's
illegal
what
thing.
Halloween
So I can't get beyond the idea it's demanding things with menaces, which is a very sort of cynical way of looking at it.
No,
And,
well, that's interesting.
I definitely completely respect that a lot of people get a lot of fun
Yeah,
out
I
of
know
it.
it's some people's favourite holidays, and that's great.
That's good for them, I'd
yeah,
say.
definitely. But
I mean,
for us personally,
yeah.
not our
Exactly.
favourite. Christmas is where it's
I know.
at.
That's where we go ridiculously over the top, isn't it? But...
It is. How would you rank the holidays?
Ooh, nice question. I like that. In terms of how much I like them, or...
So what's your, including birthdays, like birthdays, Easter, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day?
From top to bottom?
Yeah, favourite.
Okay, so favourite Christmas, Natch. And then probably second favourite birthday.
Me too.
Okay, and then after that, ooh, that's a good one. And I think it's changed as I've got older. So, and I'm not directly answering your question, but I think when I was more your sort of age, Valentine's Day would have been much higher
More of
up.
a big deal,
Whereas now at my age, it's still nice,
Yeah.
but it's not such a big deal because you kind of know your husband's going to
Yeah, exactly.
The mystery's slightly gone out of it, if we're honest.
Who's this from?
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine. So that's the case. So anyway, after birthday, I think I really like Mother's Day because I'm very proud to be your mum and Adam's mum, so that's really nice. And then maybe Easter, because you can do a big meal like you do at Christmas. It's like a sort of second Christmas for me. And then
It's quite family as well, isn't
yeah.
it?
And then I can't remember what I've got left. Probably Halloween.
Valentine's Day and Halloween.
Yeah, so Valentine's Day first, I think, and then probably Halloween for me, I would
nice.
say. Yeah,
I've ranked
which is
them-
an odd thing to say when on a show all about Halloween.
No, I know. But we're being honest, aren't we?
Yeah.
I would rank them very similarly. Obviously, Mother's Day,
Yeah.
not yet. Oh, Mother's Day is my
Thank
favourite.
goodness. Well, you're very kind to me on Mother's Day.
Yes, that's
You
true.
are.
So I can think of it as the giver of the mother.
Yeah.
So I would say Christmas.
Yes.
Birthday. Easter. because it's my day. It's all pastel colours,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Easter egg, especially being a child, like you get all the Easter eggs,
Yeah.
and it's nice to see family. Then probably Valentine's Day, then Mother's Day. Sorry, it's a bit low
No,
down.
that's fine.
And then Halloween. So
Oh.
similar.
Yeah, no, you
yeah.
always spoil me rotten
Aw.
on Mother's Day, which is wonderful.
It's interesting. I feel like I feel like I spoil people more on their birthday though than Christmas or Mother's Day. I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day, but like Maya, here you go, mentioning her again, because she's a Libra, like us, all three
Yes,
Libras.
yes.
So she's October, and then there's only 2 more months till Christmas. And then I was thinking, like, which do I go more like ham on? And I
Yeah.
think birthdays.
What does that
'cause
mean,
it's-
go ham on?
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know. I was like,
that's a
I
new
thought-
generation. I think
Really?
so.
Oh wow! Just like more big. Like,
Okay.
I didn't
Where does
know
ham, like ham as in ham you eat? Or
I don't think so. Just so you go ham, like you
Okay.
go crazy, you
Yeah.
go bigger.
yeah.
Like
No, that's not a me generation
oh,
thing.
really? I don't know.
Yeah.
So we go ham at Christmas.
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly use it like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's
Yeah.
bigger, more extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think because birthdays, it's like just your day,
Exactly.
and then Christmas is about everyone.
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
what I was. Well, everyone is a Christian, I suppose. Not
Well, I'm
well.
not Christian.
No,
You're
that's
not
true.
Christian.
That's true.
Everyone sort of in the West, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Or everyone who chooses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
regardless
yeah.
of everything
But they
else,
tend to be
but-
culturally in the West.
Yes.
But you're right.
Because you
yeah.
don't have. No, you're right. You don't have to be a Christian to celebrate.
No,
you
'cause
could
I'm
just
not.
have a nice holiday,
Yeah,
can't you?
exactly,
Nothing wrong
yeah.
with that. But yeah, well, go ham. I've learned
ham. I
something.
I thought maybe it's probably American.
Maybe.
I
Maybe.
didn't know that was like
Yeah,
a.
yeah.
Oh.
But I agree with you. I was thinking when you were talking. I think the nice thing about birthdays and specific days to you, like being a mother,
Mother's Day is like another birthday.
it
isn't
feels
it?
more specific.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
say, more personalised. Well, it literally is.
It is,
More
isn't it? Whereas
personalised.
Christmas is kind of the both giving and receiving,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's
yeah.
like that. That reminds me of the Friends quote. Do you remember when Joey's like, "and having and giving and sharing and receiving," when he's writing a letter for Chandler and Monica to adopt a child, and then he's trying to write this really proper letter.
Oh,
he
and they
says-
think a child
and,
wrote
yeah,
it.
yeah. And he says having and giving and sharing and receiving about 7 times.
Yeah,
So I said
yeah.
sharing and receiving. So I heard Joey say having and giving and sharing and receiving.
It's amazing how powerful TV is for that. Actually,
Yeah.
how it just sort of because
It
that
just
happens
stays
to
in
me
your mind.
sometimes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
almost replays that little scene.
Yeah,
isn't
because I
it?
can
It's-
hear that. I can
Yeah.
hear him saying
It's
that.
fascinating,
It's
isn't it?
interesting.
Yeah, amazing.
Mm.
So yes, but the other thing I like about Christmas,
I love it. It's the Halloween episode
Always.
where we're talking about Christmas. I love it. Go for it.
sorry,
Yeah, go for it.
because I like birthdays because they're personal. And just while you were talking, I was thinking, although conversely, I like Christmas because it's nice to be part of everybody celebrating
Yeah.
something together, or maybe not
Exactly,
everyone, as
yeah.
you said, but
Your whole family or whatever.
yeah. And my sort of my childhood memories of Christmas, as I did explain before, quite a lot of it was being bored quite a lot of the time, which I think was quite
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah.
But it was like the world kind of stopped a bit between Christmas and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
It was sort of things shut down, and you know, and that was quite a nice, healthy feeling in a way that you could just
Yeah.
breathe out and sort of kick back and somehow feel less stressed by
Yeah.
modern life somehow. I don't know. Do you feel that at all, or has that changed? Would you
Well,
say?
actually, we didn't even rank New Year's. New Year's, we also don't really
Oh, we
celebrate.
forgot about that,
I
didn't we?
just don't remember it exists. I've never celebrated New Year's ever.
You might do when you're a bit older,
Yeah, I
maybe.
think so. Yeah, I think when I'm older, I just haven't. I don't know. It's just
I tell you who celebrates New Year's in absolute style, and I've done it once, is in Scotland.
New York. Oh really?
Oh my God, they do Hogmanay.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, I was dating this very handsome Scotsman.
Oh.
And we went, and we had haggis. It was back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
days when I ate meat. So it's this very traditional Scottish meal. I won't tell you what's in it because
It's pig.
it's a bit offally. So that's
Oh.
like all the bits you don't really want to
Oh.
think about what you're
Oh.
eating with.
Yeah.
But it's very traditional.
Yeah.
And then lots of handsome men in kilts and sort of dancing a ceilidh, and lots of traditions around bringing lumps of coal in or something, which I can't, because I'm not Scottish, I'm afraid I can't quite remember.
I am 1/16 Scottish. So I'm like,
Yes. But yeah, so they certainly celebrate New Year's Eve in style. I can highly recommend
So what do they
it.
do? So they have their haggis.
Well, yes, I mean, how much of it is just cliched stuff for the tourists?
Yeah.
I think the traditional thing is someone brings in a lump of coal and there's some symbolism to that. So apologies to anyone who's Scottish who's watching, and I've probably made a complete sort of hash of that. So that's a nice tradition, and I'm sure that's symbolic of something which I can't remember. But also, yes, there's this eating of the haggis, and it's just, I think the Scottish people know how to have a really good time. So you just have one hell of a party, really, and it's called a hogmanay, and it's really good fun. So once in your life, I highly recommend celebrating at least one New Year's Eve in Scotland.
Well, that's interesting, because I thought you were going to say New York.
Well, that's cool as well.
Because like
yes.
the ball dropping, which is probably an absolute
Yes.
nightmare. It's probably busy as hell.
Yeah.
But that does remind me, I do, and I've told you this before, on Christmas, I do want to go figure skating.
Yes.
At, what's it called?
The Rockefeller Centre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That rink.
Yeah.
I think that would be something really special. Probably have to go at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
where it's not too busy. You can't do anything. There's all the, you know, the public skaters we call
You would
them.
feel like you were on a Christmas card though, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You
but in
know?
a really lovely way.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, because I had a wonderful job buying samples to be heavily inspired by developing products to sell at Christmas. So I used to get paid to go shopping in New York at Christmas and buying samples, which, I mean, really, I remember sitting on the plane thinking, this is just insane. I'm being paid to go shopping in New York. It's just amazing. So, yeah,
Flown
that was,
around for free.
yeah, it
you
was
know.
amazing. It was a lovely job. So, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, and I remember the Rockefeller Centre, and they had that great big Christmas tree. And that's a big deal when they switched the lights on. I think I'm right in saying that's the one in Home Alone.
Yeah,
when Kevin
yeah,
reunites
yeah.
with his mum.
And I was also thinking, also Elf. And
yes.
in Elf, I think they go ice skating on that rink as well. So there you go.
I can't believe how much we've talked about Christmas.
I know.
Happy
What are we
Halloween.
gonna- exactly. What are we going to talk about? We'll find something to talk about
Yeah,
for Christmas.
it's a good
episode,
job
but-
I've got my orange shirt on to add
and
a
my
note
purple,
of
yeah.
yes, any excuse. I think we'll still find plenty of stuff
I
to talk
think
about,
so.
won't we? For sure. So yes.
But yes, Halloween.
Halloween.
The other side to Halloween,
Yes.
which I know you and I are also interested in, is the witchy side. So I've got, I don't know, kind of slightly witchy. Actually, these are really short for me, but like,
They're very pretty.
thank you, witchy nails.
You don't want to see my nails
oh.
close up. They're like
they're fine.
really, really boring by
Yours are
comparison.
Yours are fairly long as well.
Are they?
Actually, have you always had long nails? It's a weird
No,
question to
no,
ask.
that's quite long.
They're usually quite short.
Yeah,
So
being a
those
gardener.
probably the same length.
Oh,
Mine
actually,
is short, yours are long, but they're
Yeah.
actually the same length. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah, but being a gardener, not the biggest
Yeah,
on
whereas
fancy
the
nails.
other way around for me.
Yeah.
But yes, in terms of the witchy side, we thought we'd wear our favourite crystals. Which,
Yes.
Well, you started off, and then I just copied you.
Not
I
at
thought,
all.
oh, that's
Not
a
at
good
all.
idea.
You don't copy.
Thank you. So I am wearing my favourite. This is a very small one. Oh my god, what's it called? Larimar. I forgot about it for a minute. This is my absolute favourite one. It's a very small one, so it usually looks exactly like the ocean. It's really beautiful, and it's got quite calming properties to it.
That's lovely.
And it only comes from one mountain in the whole world. I think one mountain, definitely one country. The Dominican Republic. So it's
Well done.
it's quite expensive, this tiny little thing. But I really I love how it looks and the properties that it gives me. So
Yeah.
it's worth it for me.
Wonderful.
And may I
And I've got my favourite one on, which is Moldavite. And this one, I'm definitely not a crystals expert.
Nor am I.
Mostly I like the look of it, and it makes me feel really calm as well. But I think it's meant to be really good for sort of connecting you to sort of higher planes, and it's meant to help you meditate. And I'm rubbish at meditating, so I need all the help I can get. And for me, actually, meditating is more gardening, if I'm honest.
Which we talked about last
Yeah.
time, didn't we?
More than formally sitting down and sort of,
I can't do that.
I can't do that.
think
I don't know if it's an ADHD thing for me. I find it difficult to sit
Maybe.
still and just concentrate. But I definitely, and so apologies if I'm repeating myself,
No.
but I definitely find just that rhythmic action of work, working in the polytunnel, for instance. All of this I've done, and this is my form of meditation, weeding it and planting out and harvesting. I kind of go somewhere else while I'm doing it, and if I'm wearing my Moldavite, it helps me. Maybe because it's green. It's kind of that green
Right,
colour,
maybe
isn't
so,
it?
yeah.
Maybe. Although it's
And,
from another planet.
I was going to say,
ironically.
so it's from an asteroid, I believe.
Yes, again,
which is
I'm
amazing.
not an expert, but
No,
yes,
nor am I,
it's
nor am I.
it's where an asteroid. I think it hit about sort of Czechoslovakia, that sort of part of the globe, and it's basically meant to come from that asteroid. So it's not of this Earth, so
Yeah.
allegedly, but I think that's what they claim. But anyway, I just love what it looks like.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
yeah.
It's very you, and ours are very sort of us. Aren't they? It's
Yeah.
very you, mine's very me.
exactly,
so,
which is
yeah.
what it's all about.
Exactly, generation gap.
Yes.
But that's true. Just you touched on saying you've done this whole polytunnel yourself. So I would just like to praise you for a minute
Oh,
and
thank
say
you.
that
Not that I
all
was
of
dropping
this,
hints.
No, you would. I just
Say more
wanted
about the
to.
polytunnel.
No, not at all. All of this, Mum has literally done all on her
Aw.
own. Just you and Mother Earth.
Gaia has had a lot to do with
Absolutely.
it, that is for sure.
Mum has planted every single thing all on her own, except for a few carrots.
Yes, that's
Or
true.
two.
That's true.
Watered it all, trimmed it back, and look how beautiful it is.
But the nice
So,
thing is,
all
you
that's really
come here every day with me.
Yeah, pretty
we walk
much,
down,
yeah.
and because Emma's been homeschooled, you've been homeschooled, haven't you?
cool. Educated.
Home educated. Do you prefer home educated? Well, that's interesting.
Homeschooled sounds a bit.
Yeah.
It's so technical.
Yeah, I've obviously taught you grammar really well.
Well, I've only been home educated for like 3 years.
Yeah,
and the
that's
rest
true.
I've been to school my whole life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look at me taking credit for it all.
No, not at all,
but
not at all.
but what's been great, and I think maybe why we've got quite a strong bond, is that we've had the luxury of that time together.
Yeah, definitely.
And
yeah.
I don't know how you
Especially
feel.
which I think we've always had, but I agree with you, amplified. And especially at this age, I think is where, and it's fine, it's super healthy and super normal. But I think at this age, most people tend to drift from their mothers, which is
Yeah.
completely normal.
Yeah.
Don't
Which
know,
you're
they come a
welcome
bit
to
more-
do. You cannot ever leave me.
Exactly. That was very Halloween.
Oh, sorry.
No, so yeah, I think it's been really nice, especially at this time.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
I consider myself incredibly
Oh,
blessed. I mean,
thank
what a joy for a mother.
Thank you. Well, me
To get
too,
to be with
honestly.
you every day, it's amazing. And we do, part of our routine is we
Yes.
tend to walk, we tend to walk barefoot.
Yes,
Although-
grounding.
Yes.
Good for the soul. Releases. What does it do? It well, it does like a load of stuff. It helps you
Yes.
sleep better.
Yeah.
It helps release unwanted anything into
Yes.
the ground, like energies or whatever.
It's something electrical, and forgive me, I'm a complete expert at about 1% of knowledge, and then
Well,
I don't.
better than nothing, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So in other words, I'm not an expert on anything.
There you are.
But I know there are lots of scientific studies done that when you ground, basically it's a lot of electrical charge. Earths itself out of your body into the ground, and it absolutely massively reduces inflammation. It's incredible, and that's completely statistically and scientifically proven. You
Yeah.
know, it's not just some theory. So we do it, don't we? I think you're meant to ideally do 20 minutes a day.
I'll probably do a little bit less. Although I take Molly out for about an hour.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
good.
and if you can't be barefooted, just being around nature, I think, and literally hugging a tree, and there's
That old
Yeah.
cliche,
Yeah.
tree huggers,
but it actually, the tree will take that same charge down into the earth. So,
it
yeah.
takes our negativity for us, which is
Literally.
why nature is so beautiful.
It is
so
amazing.
kind.
Yeah, absolutely. So we come here, we walk usually barefoot, although now we're getting into the end of October.
Cold, yeah. Got,
we might have
got
to.
our slides.
Yeah, we might have to be doing that just till next year.
Yeah.
And oh, Milo,
Lily,
are you
what's
going to
he
come up
saying?
and say hello?
Lily is always grounded.
He is. That's true. They don't wear shoes, do
Oh, and
they?
he stole my avocado toast today.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
He-
caught him.
He did. Oh, he's a good boy though. He is very orange.
He's very orange. So sorry, you were talking about grounding. Yes, we
So we come here
down,
every day, and
you
then
do your watering.
yes, and we harvest. We usually harvest
Yes.
something, don't we? for lunch that day
Yeah.
or supper that day, so that's a good reason. And it's like having a supermarket where you don't have to pay for anything. It's great. I literally go with a shopping basket.
Yeah, you do, literally. I think we've got it.
Yeah, it's
next to
around
the house.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And the other brilliant thing about a polytunnel, without lapsing into
Yeah, absolutely.
being a lecture on polytunnels, is here we are in October, and in here it kind of, I think it extends the season by
you were
about
saying,
2 months. So it
2
feels,
months, amazing,
yeah.
isn't
So
it?
you,
Yeah.
it's looking very different. Outside, it's very beautifully autumnal and orange and golden, and in here it's still vibrant and green,
Yeah.
and we've still got courgettes and cucumbers and all sorts of wonderful things that we're very lucky to have at this time of year. So yes.
And also, I think maybe we touched on this last week. You absolutely know that it's all organic,
Exactly.
isn't it? And
Yep.
you know, obviously you buy the seed or the plant and then get the seed from somewhere, and then every time that plants and then that plant produces seeds.
That's right.
Every time it's getting more organic,
Exactly.
isn't it? So
And every
it's,
time you're getting more seed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that thing, isn't it? So
Yeah,
full
exactly.
circle moment from what we were talking about at the beginning,
Yes.
the pumpkins, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, one thing I'd love to encourage in our local community going forward is, I think, people swapping seeds.
Yeah.
Because we just throw them away, and they're such a brilliant resource. We could save them and dry them. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to store them in a paper bag. That's really important.
Oh, why is that?
Well, even a seed is alive, obviously.
So it can
s-
breathe.
And so it's respiring. It's producing a certain amount of moisture through respiration. And so if you put it in a sealed plastic bag, then all that moisture sort of starts to accumulate, and that encourages fungal sort of growth. In other words, going mouldy.
Which, interesting, which makes sense because that's what you do want to do. There you go, with your boxes. When you are, what's that called? I've just forgotten it. With your lovely-
Germinating.
Germinating is you do that intentionally, don't you, to trap the moisture?
Yes.
Because then that encourages it to grow, does it?
Well, it's
Or-
just, to be honest, it's a really great way of being really lazy.
Oh,
Well, two things.
but it's the
Now-
opposite of keeping seeds, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it makes
because you want
sense.
it to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Those boxes are fantastic for
Mum's
germinating.
idea.
Yeah, because they keep the mice out. That's the thing. Because this polytunnel is quite a long way from the house.
Yeah.
It's a nice walk when we're grounding, but of course, you know, we're sort of sharing it with nature. So we
Yeah.
get I nearly said bluebirds.
Oh.
That would be nice. Blackbirds in
We
here.
do. There's
don't
one
we?
that
Wrens.
lives in here.
Yes.
There's a wren that lives in here.
We've seen a slow worm. We've seen snake skins from snakes that have shed their
Really?
skins.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the dogs always sniff in the corners. There's
Yes,
some
there's somebody
animals living
interesting in there,
yeah.
not there? So yeah, so the clear plastic boxes keep the mice out of the seedlings. 'Cause
Yeah.
mice quite like eating seedlings.
But it also traps the
Yes.
moisture, though, doesn't it?
So you get like
Yeah.
a sort of almost cycle, because
Yeah.
as everything's respiring, so it saves having to irrigate them every day. Basically, is what we're
Okay,
saying.
but it does help germinate, does it? Or
Well,
not
yes, because
really?
it keeps things warmer. So
Yeah.
you need heat. You need heat, light, and moisture for germination. Exactly, absolutely, and then the box helps with that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a top tip. It's not a gardening chat really, but
No, but it's your passion.
if you haven't got a greenhouse, it's a really good alternative. Is
Wow,
a clear
really?
plastic storage box, just for seedlings. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
limited as to what will grow in that size. But
true.
yeah,
There
yeah,
you go. Love it.
Hurrah.
So you were talking about seed swaps,
yes.
and I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's sort of growing our communities more locally, isn't
Absolutely.
it? And then, you know, the idea of just basically what you're saying, swapping vegetables. You know, I've
Yeah.
got too many carrots,
Exactly.
and you've got some cucumbers. Just
Yeah. So not only the seeds, but the actual produce
Yes,
as well.
definitely.
Absolutely. And because, like we're saying, with our 400 pumpkin seeds, you know, we probably need 3 of those seeds for
Amazing,
next year. So,
isn't it? Yeah.
you know, with the other 397,
Yeah.
we could swap some of them for another plant.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
everyone could do the same, which is wonderful, really. And you know, cut out the shops and do the same exactly as you say with produce. And I think
Yeah.
that's exciting because everybody's got a particular set of circumstances in their garden in terms of what the soil is like, in terms of structure or pH, or how shady it is, or whether
Yeah.
they've got raised beds. And so everyone can grow certain crops more easily.
Yeah,
So if you've
there
got
you
a lot of
go.
space, you can grow potatoes more easily. You know, if you happen to have a microclimate, you might be able to grow peaches more easily, or whatever it is. and therefore we could start sharing,
yeah.
grow what you can grow well,
Yeah.
and then because there's nothing more delicious than eating homegrown produce.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's so
delicious
much.
in both senses. One, when you grow them,
Yeah.
it's, as we said last week, that thing of like when a child or anyone grows something, it's delicious in the sense of, oh my god, I grew that. But there's a helicopter. But
We
also,
have every mode of transport.
we do, don't we? But also just delicious in the taste sense, because oh
Yeah.
my god, your cucumbers
Oh, thank
and your
you.
strawberries, you definitely taste the difference between that and a shop. Because
Yeah,
it hasn't
it's
got the
interesting.
chemicals to keep it on the shelves longer, has it?
No, exactly. And even if it's not chemicals, it could just be the variety that they've chosen.
Yeah, that's true.
Is
yeah.
for that sort of
But I
longer.
can taste a massive difference.
Yeah.
It's sweeter. It's less like just for the cucumbers, less like watery. It's got more flavour and more cucumber rather than
Yes.
just like fill it with water. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
and a certain proportion of, particularly I think salad crops, never see soil. You know, they're
Yeah,
grown
crazy,
hydroponically
isn't it? Yeah.
with just nutrients and water. So
It's
you know, which
just-
might work. You know, each to
Yeah,
his own.
definitely, But
But I
a
like.
bit silly, isn't it?
I like
for,
a bit of mud,
nature,
bit of
isn't
mud
it?
with me lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, that's how nature intended it, isn't it? So
Yeah, I
it's-
think so.
it's interesting,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It works for some people. So.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed sort of sitting here and just having a chat in the polytunnel. It's despite all the noises. I hope
Yeah.
hope we've been heard. But
And it's, as you said, it's keeping the air in, so it's
Yeah.
actually it's quite a pleasant temperature.
it is
isn't
sitting
it?
here in
Yeah.
just a shirt at the end of October.
Yeah.
Isn't bad,
Oh,
is
it's been
it?
November in like a week.
It is. I can't believe
It's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Mum.
Thank you, my love. It's been really lovely to chat to you.
As always, you too. And yes, please, thank you for the ongoing support, especially as we have a few returning subscribers.
Yes,
so
thank you.
very much to our returning
And for
subscribers.
all the lovely comments.
I was going to say who always comment, and thank you very much if you like the video. It really means a lot to us. And if you subscribe, thank you. And as always, we would love to hear comments, just what you think, any suggestions for topics.
Oh, I had an idea. I'd love to
Yes,
run by everyone.
definitely.
If anyone's got a view, that's great. I was thinking to bring it back to Christmas, because there's only 9 weeks to go till Christmas, I think.
Well, it's exactly 2 months because
Ah.
filming it is
Oh,
the
yeah.
25th.
That's true.
of
Good,
October.
good observation.
Yeah.
I was thinking what we could do for one episode is sort of inspired by the pumpkins.
Oh, the wreath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not like a wreath demo, but maybe show, because I've for a long time ran wreath making workshops, and so I am somewhat of an expert, if I do say
Yeah,
so
well,
myself,
literally.
at how to take a bit of old metal and some, you know,
The
branches,
moss and- yeah.
and to make a half decent
Oh.
wreath to go on the front door. So I thought we could maybe do that for one. What do you reckon?
Because I'd love to do that because I've got some nice nostalgia from that, because you used to do those courses, so then after everyone had gone I would make one, and I always really enjoyed it. It was
You were
really
brilliant at it,
yeah,
actually.
Oh, thank,
You
was
were.
I?
You were really
Oh,
good.
well, good teacher.
Really good.
Thank you, Mum. But I always really enjoyed doing that, and
Aw.
then you make your own wreath and then you can put that
Yeah.
on your door. So I've got nice nostalgia from it, and I haven't made a wreath in quite a few years, so I would
It's
love to
actually
relearn
really,
it.
it's really easy to do once you know the technique. So I thought, without boring everyone too much, we could take everybody through this process
Yeah,
enough that they could make their own
Yeah.
wreath to hang up at home. So
So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
In probably December. so-
knowing us, it'll be next week. No,
Yeah.
not that we're Christmas obsessed or
No.
anything. Brilliant. Oh, well,
Amazing.
thank you
Well,
for the
thank you.
lovely chat.
And thank you. And we will see you next week on
Generation Gap.